Morning, everybody. So this morning, I just want to show you maybe some of the reality of animal care in the Philippines. I know it's kind of a tough subject, especially if you're from the West, where animals are taken care of. I only know this exists because I've already made this walk this morning. But this is kind of the hard reality of the amount of stray animals that are wandering the streets in the Philippines. And you'll see dogs, cats sleeping on the road. You don't necessarily think too much of it until you see one like this and you're like, that does not look like it's sleeping, right? You know, past the point of sleeping. It's a young male dog, no collar, so, you know, what's the likelihood it really belonged to anybody, right? This guy was out when I walked by, and I kind of asked him, you know, I knew the answer, but I asked him if it was dead, and he said, yeah, I think so. So that his response was, I don't think anybody fed it. Yeah, I thought, well, yeah, no shit, huh? Look at it, right? Nobody fed it. And this happens everywhere here. All you gotta do is get out and about. And there's a wild dog breeding program, you know, that's second to none here. You know, they came around, gosh, it might even been just yesterday. I don't know. I'm losing track of days already in my retirement. And they gave rabies shots. You know, they just reached through and say, hey, you know, you get dogs, you want rabies shots, voila, free of charge. Of course, Hannah gave them a tip, but nonetheless, I mean, a couple bucks really is all it was, for vaccinating 4 dogs for rabies, which I applaud that. That is definitely a positive thing since they're just walking neighborhoods. I mean, that could be a full-time job for lots of people. You know, maybe the better thing would be to catch the strays, but, you know, hey, I don't know if that's going to happen. Anyway, kind of a sad reality. You know, this is Hannah's stray dog zone, where they have water and whatever gets put out here that I guess our dogs wouldn't eat, which I say our dogs. Yeah, here they are. Apparently Dora's in heat, which is exciting. Warren's are the only, well, besides Zoe obviously, but Warren's the only one that's actually neutered. The other 3 female dogs are not, which is probably part of the program here for me to take them in and get them spayed, because the last thing I want is more dogs. If you want a dog, they're easy to come by here. There's actually a fair amount of cats too. Boogers has been, you know, pretty much showing his dominance over the cat population here. He's been a little better about staying in. So here's this Filipino house that's under construction, and you get an idea of what something like that looks like. So there's a stray dog, balls intact, wandering the neighborhood. He's always over at our place thinking he needs to, you know, do something. Of course, there's Dora. She's thinking, sure would like me some of that. As he walks by, let's see what happens. Oh, there There's Dora, Lauren, everybody says, hey, dog in the neighborhood, dog in the neighborhood. And another dog. So this is obviously a kept dog. Huh? Hey, buddy. Yeah, okay. He just came and went, guys. Even my little fat Zoe gets in on the fun. Don't you, Zoe? Yeah. Even her now, she started liking the rice and sardine shit that Hannah feeds him. I should tell you something. Zoe's a garbage can. She'll eat anything. So, that's our neighbor's dog. That's obviously well taken care of, right? I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it gets steady meals. It's steady meals. So wandering around the block one more time, I'm curious as to, how long it'll take for that dog to disappear. Like, who's gonna finally say, I don't want a rotting dog in the street in front of my house, right? We've got the choice of this guy or this guy, right? And I would think, if it was me, this guy who lives there, he's already has not taken claim to doing anything about it. That guy up there is gonna have to run over it. So we'll see. There's a cat. That must be his home. Hey, buddy. So there you go. And that's happening in my neighborhood. Again, I've said this is a pretty good neighborhood, actually. Everybody seems to be friendly, better off than most. This vehicle's been running since the last time I came around here. So everything's a diesel here. Interesting. Even cars, a lot of them are diesel. Like every truck, I think, is a diesel. Little 4-cylinder diesels. And diesel's less expensive than gasoline here. Go figure, huh? In the United States, we've got that backwards. Oh, this ornery thing. Hey, buddy. He just sounds mean. Hey, another ownerish dog. All right, back to our house. So here's this house again from the other side. So she's pretty well wide open. I don't know where they're living in there, if they're living in there. Just doesn't seem like there's an area to live in there. Maybe they aren't living in there. So basketball hoop, I've got a plan for that. Here at some point I want to renovate that and clean this area up right down here. So maybe if I want to, or kids want to, somebody wants to shoot some hoops. This actually is a pretty decent basketball hoop when it puts in. Just needs a little straightening of the rim and a backboard, and you're good to go. Well, yesterday we put in trying some solar lights, and they had some like, tons of these things. These are old solar lights. They're all just, and usually there's a freaking lizard in every one of them. You gotta be careful when you're scared the shit out of me. But yeah, so I've been trying to find some other ones to put up to get some lights here at dark. I found some I like, so I'm probably gonna get some more of them. There's one right there, a newer one that I put up like that. Right, Zoe? Yeah? Warren? So I got the pool pump running here this morning. Put some chlorine here, trying to see if I can get it a little cleaner. I don't know. This thing doesn't hold water the way it should. No matter what you do, it always seems to get down to that level. There was 2 inches more water in here just yesterday from the rain that's gone somewhere. Anyway, up there I put a couple of lights. You can see them. Those are solar lights. And I actually cleaned the bulbs on those. We found the switch for those, where those have a switch to turn on. So I got those figured out now. Anyhow, got a spare propane tank yesterday. We ran out of propane, so we went and got propane. I bought a spare, so that was one of my projects. It's interesting. You think you've got all this time to do stuff, and you plan activities, and before you realize it, the day is half done, and you've barely gotten out of the shower, and done your necessities of the day of what you need to do, and then it might rain on you, and so hey, you do what you can. You kind of just keep a running list of shit you want to accomplish. If you get it done, you get it done. If you don't, you don't. I guess that is the Filipino culture and way of life, that you best damn well adapt to it, because you ain't changing it. If things get done, they get done. I don't know what constitutes an emergency here, but certainly isn't that. So, and there's Boogers. You can see Boogers. He's adapted well. He don't do a whole lot. He says, okay, got this figured out. Hey, Boogs. What's up? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So, for reference, he is easily twice the size of every other cat here. And, he's probably 15 years old, so he's no young cat by any means. But just by sheer size, he dominates the neighborhood. They're all kind of afraid of him. He'll go over there and he'll just every now and again want to terrorize some cat. It's like, Boogers, I gotta, go rein him in and say, stop that, But anyway, all right, so this is my day. Thanks for tuning in.